This is KC Sports Tonight.
Okay, welcome into a slightly later than usual KC Sports Tonight, overcoming some technical difficulties, but as they say, the show must go on. Scott, let's get right to it. Where are you? You're not in the studio, but we can see you got some stuff going on around you.
I'm hanging out at the Pitch Club, Marleah, at CPKC Stadium, beautiful facility. And the reason I'm hanging out at the Pitch Club is because in about 15 minutes they're going to start the roster reveal for the much anticipated media game, which will take place a week from Saturday out on this field, out in this stadium, where media members such as myself and Jared Kohler and Bill Hurlbrink will try to relive our glory years and play soccer at halftime of what is already a pretty important real game between the KC Current and Orlando coming in, top two teams in the standings. So, the roster reveal coming up in just a few minutes, going to be media members from across the metro here, and I figured, well, I'll hang out and find out which team I'm on. Very excited.
There you go. I took part in that 2 years ago. We got the win, and I figured go out while you're on top. So we'll be cheering you guys on. Hopefully we have some bloopers to run in our highlight reel that night. But looking forward to seeing if you and Jared are on the same team.
And how many goals did you score, just out of curiosity?
Oh, it's so long ago. It's truly hard to remember. But
who can remember?
I don't remember, that's for sure. Okay, let's move right along to the Royals today. Pretty incredible game. I was at Chris Jones's camp over at Blue Valley Southwest, so I was following it live on my phone. But Scott, you had the pleasure of watching it live. So, dropped one yesterday to the Marlins, got a big one today. What does this win mean to this team and to do it in this fashion?
It's a big deal. I mean, you can't come off of that road trip where they were 2-7 and all of a sudden had fallen out of the wild card standings. You know you're coming home for 10 games. You got the Marlins for the first 3. You cannot lose this first series. You just can't. And they won the first game, but still only had 6 hits. Last night, only 4 hits and lose the game. So all of a sudden now you're in danger of losing the series. And they had 4 hits through 7 innings today. They were being shut out. It was 1-0 Miami. It looked like pretty much a disaster. And then Bobby Witt Jr., surprise, surprise, hits one into the right center field gap. You knew off the bat it's a triple because it's Bobby. He gets to third. This is with 2 outs, mind you. 2 outs, nobody on, and down 1-0 in the 8th. Runner on third, and then that just opened the floodgates. It was like this cloud cover lifted from the K when Bobby dove headfirst into third base. Next batter, Vinny Pasquantino, single, drove him home. Then they pinch ran for Vinny with Dairon Blanco. He scored on a Salvi double. Then a Nick Lofton hit, made it 3-1, and then Freddie Fermin drove in 2. So all of a sudden you look up at the scoreboard, it's 5-1 Royals, but they scored all 5 runs and got more than half their hits in the game with 2 outs in the 8th inning. End of the day, it doesn't matter. They won the game. It's massive. And the other thing that I think bears pointing out is Brady Singer was phenomenal. He was going to be the hard luck loser if it stayed 1-0. Pitched into the 8th inning, gave up just the 1 run. And, Marleah, I think the one thing that if you're a Royal fan, you really cling to in terms of hope that this team is still legit and has staying power to remain in this race throughout the summer is even in this rough stretch, the starting pitching is still fantastic. And we saw it in all 3 games this week, I should say. Cole Reagans strikes out 11 on Monday night, 1 shy of his career high. He got 26 whiffs in that game, which is the most in the bigs this season. Follow that up yesterday. Seth Lugo, 6 innings, 8 strikeouts. He was fantastic. And then Singer was great today. I mean, that's your 1, 2, 3. All of them dynamite. And that is another reason why, had they lost 2 out of 3 with those 3 back-to-back pitching performances, it's just like, my God, what are we doing? We can't, So it's all okay. We can talk Royal fans off the ledge. They won the series, and as you well know, pretty big one starting tomorrow.
Yeah, I want to get to that one in a second, but want to jump back to this Marlins series really quick. Specifically the game today, what carries more weight to you? The fact that they were scoreless through 7 innings and had a really hard time getting anything going. I think you mentioned 4 hits, or the weight of the 8th inning being able to rally and kind of come together and pull out the win. Which one of those 2 things is more significant to you? Tells more of the story of this team.
Yeah, I think I will go glass half full and say that the story of the game is the 8th inning. It's their 20th comeback win of the year. They had 20 all of last year. And we're still in June. Now, obviously last year they were terrible, so take it with a grain of salt.
Mildly put.
But The fact that this team has shown time and time again that being down in the late innings is not a death sentence in any particular ball game. So I think to do it again in a situation where they so desperately had to have this game is huge. And I'm willing to give them a bit of a mulligan on the offense in this series because prior to this week, their offensive numbers at home have been really good all season. On the road, not so much, but at home, they've been really good. So we'll give them this series. Again, this is not a great pitching staff that Miami brought in, certainly not a good team. But at the end of the day, you want to win 2 out of 3. That's what they did. So we'll move on, and let's judge them on the next 4 days because the Cleveland Guardians coming in, and you got a sizable deficit now in this American League Central.
Yep.
But if you win 3 or dare I say 4 games the rest of this week, that really changes the landscape.
Big opportunity to make up some ground. Scott, we're going to fly through some of these topics because of our late start. So up next, we got the NBA draft tonight, coming up actually pretty soon. A lot of guys, a handful of guys that we're looking at from kind of our 3 Power Fives, Mizzou and KU, K-State, all of them mainly KU guys. But, I'm curious. I think the storyline of the day is looking at Johnny Furphy. I thought there was a very good chance he was coming back to Kansas. A lot of the, national outlets have him going as a lottery pick. Your thoughts on him sticking with his decision to enter the draft and go forward with his NBA career?
I will never fault a guy who knows he's going to be a first-round pick for coming out early. And all indications are he is going to be a first-round pick. Now, that said, I would have liked to see him come back, not only for the sake of Kansas and the fans, but I think that another year in that system, in that program, with the talent around him would have done him wonders, both developmentally and potentially for his draft stock next year, because I think there's an excellent chance he would have been a lottery pick next year. I don't think he will be tonight. I could be wrong. My guess is you're talking, pick 20-ish is my guess for where Johnny Furphy goes. I've seen him right at 20 to Cleveland was the last mock draft that I saw. But I think that sounds about right because of the upside. But he's a project. I mean, this is not a guy who's going to roll into the league next year and give quality NBA minutes. He's just not ready. But the upside is clear, the talent is clear, and he's certainly a guy who a team can take confidently with the skill set, knowing that 2-3 years down the road you might have a real player. And the other guy in the conversation tonight is Kevin McCullough, who is a borderline late first, early second, and only the first round's tonight, the second round tomorrow. So I'm not sure if we'll hear 2 Jayhawks names called tonight. But McCullough is a guy who I think drastically improved his stock in the first half of this season, coming back for his 6th year of college, because he proved that he can shoot the ball at an NBA level, and I don't think he had proven that to the necessary extent prior to this year. So it'll be interesting to see if he can do everything, right? He can pass, he can rebound. He's a glue guy. He's a great defensive player. So it'll be interesting to see if he does get a first-round nod tonight, but if not, it'll be early tomorrow.
He's a lockdown perimeter defender, and we've seen when he's healthy, he could really take over a game. The problem is the back half of this last season, he was not healthy, and I think he was being pretty, I guess, cautious with that injury in terms of not pushing it and not trying to come back too early. Didn't play in the NCAA tournament. You wonder if that'll have a slight effect on maybe his name getting called a little bit later rather than earlier. But again, these teams do their due diligence. They know his health condition, and it'll be interesting to see where he goes. Okay, up next, we got Espinjoza retiring today. Big news in Sporting KC world, a guy that was around for a really, really long time. Jared Kohler texted me and he said, oh my gosh, the fact that he's retiring makes me feel so old. Just means a lot to Kansas City. We are truly running out of time, so I'm going to skim through these last 2. But make sure you tune in to KCTV5 tomorrow. Espinjoza is going to have his kind of goodbye retirement press conference tomorrow morning at 11:15. We'll be bringing you coverage from that all day long on KCTV5, but it should be nice to, kind of give him his final hurrah, his goodbye from Kansas City for now, and just, being able to celebrate some milestones in his career. Certainly memorable. And then, Scott, I'm flying through our rundown because I know you got a hit to do in the 6 o'clock show, but Chris Jones camp, pretty cool today. This is the first time he had a youth camp. He did it at Blue Valley Southwest, which I know is in your neck of the woods. And it was a lot of fun. It was really cool to see Jones interacting with all the kids and spending some of his off time giving back because, Scott, as you know, there's not much of it left.
Yeah, and you think about where we were with Chris Jones a year ago at this time.
Yeah.
Very different narrative, right? Like, is that guy going to play, or is he going to
Yeah.
hold out, or what's he going to do? And you know, there was some negativity surrounding that whole controversy, if you will. So, very different scene now. He's signed, sealed, delivered. Hopefully, plays his entire career here in Kansas City. He'll be raring to go at training camp in a couple of weeks. And you know, he's such a dynamic personality that not only is it great to have, you know, an opportunity for these kids to learn football from one of their heroes, but you know he's going to be great with the kids. So you were out there, I'm sure you saw it. So,
it was incredible. Yeah,
just a super cool day, and we love that the Chiefs are so involved in the community as they are.
We've been to a lot of these so far this offseason. Trent McDuffie made a appearance at the Ronald McDonald House. Justin Reed held a charity golf tournament where a lot of his teammates, past and present, came by to support him. So a lot of philanthropic efforts getting done by the Chiefs in their time off. Speaking of time off, we will salute for today and say goodbye. Scott, we will see you on the 6 o'clock news, and then internet folks, we'll see you back on the stream at 5:30 tomorrow. All right, thanks.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, back to the normal. I'll take this off and we'll do a stick.